Thank you, media, for coming up on notice that we visiting Government House for this good moment. The Honourable Joseph Lelang is acknowledged here as our Minister for the first time since he came into the office as a Member of Parliament in 2012, as Member for Kandrian-Gloucester today, and I am privileged to be the Prime Minister that confers to a very well qualified Member of Parliament in the office of Minister. I just want to personally congratulate yourself, my brother Minister, Honourable Lelang. I know that Mrs. Nancy Lelang is here with us. I want to congratulate both of you for your faithful service to the people of Kandrian-Gloucester, and in many of the offices that you held. You also held State of Portfolio Ministers. Lately, you were His Majesty's Leader of the Opposition. In the reshuffling that took place in the last few months, you have seen the work that we've done, especially under duress, tough times when the economy was trying to rebound from the recessed economy we took over in 2018. The COVID-19 induced global economic contraction that happened in 2020 with the effect that is still passed on through up till today. When you were served as the opposition leader, you were very diligent and prudent in the way you offer constructive criticisms. You never engaged in personalized, gutter, dirty politics, but you rose on occasions that needs to be made, and you spoke as clear alternates to programs that we were running. And most of the time, in fact, based on the assistance we were giving to the economy, as an economist yourself, you knew that some of the decisions that we were taking were consistent in order. And I want to indicate that it was bound to happen, that like minds would come together and work, especially in the tough times we are in. And I want to congratulate you for making the tough walk across the aisle, so to speak. On this side, we're not fancy leaders and members of Parliament. We have common agenda, and that is to develop our country. Rural majority who you represent, as far as your own constituency, that most of us also represent. The vast majority of people who are uneconomically engaged, that we are finding solutions for to engage them in economic productive activities. And so you join a rank of leaders who are not fanciful, not with too many baggage, except to do what is right for our country, our people. We've assembled the team since 2019. You yourself have been part of that conversation in 2019, but in the plays that unfold in politics, you kept on being on the left side of those leaders who aligned with me, but it was bound to happen that this allegiance took place. I just want to thank your own wisdom to walk across from a high-ranking position on the floor of Parliament in this 10th Parliament. Holding position as leader of opposition is equivalent to the structure of politics, is equivalent to the Deputy Prime Minister seat. But you sacrificed, made this call, you ventured out to the unknown, and I want to thank those who share ranks with me in my government. The Deputy Leader of Pangu Party, which is our Deputy Prime Minister, is out on official duty overseas. He is fully aware of this swearing in. I want to thank the senior leaders of the Pangu Party, senior leader of Mamase, the Honourable Joseph Sungi, senior leader of Highlands, the Honourable William Powie, senior leaders of Papua, the Honourable Soroi Eoi, and senior leaders of New Guinea Islands, the Honourable Yeling Staki, and the entire 58 other members of Parliament who presently serving as members of Pangu Party. They all gave their fullest blessing and approval that a well-qualified leader of Parliament who have walked across from the opposition should deploy his skills, expertise, and talent in the central government instead of being wasted on the side. And so it is with this consciousness that the entire 58-member caucus decided to embrace the Honorable Joseph Lelang as a Minister of State. The Honorable Joseph Lelang is appointed to the office of Ministry of Rural and Economic Development. It's a new designation that we've created, but it has key portfolios within that should complement his experience, expertise. He is amongst a few qualified economists we have in current parliament, having formerly served as a departmental head, being a very, very learned and experienced economist himself. We felt that instead of giving him a portfolio that is attending to a sector, he rather be placed in the central structure of the executive government to assist Treasury, Prime Minister's Department, Planning Department, Finance Department, to ensure we get to work in the economy. If you look into Australian cabinet structure, or if you look into US cabinet structure, when the economy gets bigger, the workloads get bigger, there are also ministers who share the workload in the space of economy. The Honorable Joseph Lelang would have directly under his portfolio the Office of Rural Development, Department of Rural Development. It's an established department. He would also have the National Economic Fiscal Commission. The National Economic Fiscal Commission, some may see as a small offshoot, but it is an important function that assists Treasury and Prime Minister's Department and Planning Department to understand the economic rationale of key public sector investments or private sector investments in our country. It also entails or has the responsibility to task him. We've had this conversation before he was sworn in with the Treasurer and every one of us, the central government. We had the conversation of doing the cost of service delivery. Some districts are rural districts. It's not the same as delivering the same classroom to an urban district, and the same classroom expected to be delivered to a rural district. So the National Economic Fiscal Commission, under his words, will look deeper into cost of service delivery in our country and establish the equalization formula to ensure all parts of our country receives the same value for resource allocation, so that we don't leave one part of our country behind, whether you're in the opposition district, opposition province, or in the government district and government province. You all belong to Papua New Guinea. We also prosper and progress together. So he brings his expertise in that space to ensure we have the national equalization formula, leaving no place behind in as far as development is concerned. And I have a great deal of discussion with him. He's got enough experience under his belt to step up this game. Part of NEFC's critical role also is to ensure when we have foreign investments, foreign big large-scale projects, the NEFC does cost-benefit analysis as to these projects benefit to our country when discussions, negotiations, and debate is progressed. He will also have direct custody of a growing concern amongst us, the often increased prices in our goods and services. The Independent Commission, ICCC. The ICCC will have direct line of reporting to Minister Lelang, and we're looking at a reform where if the law allows for it and reform can be made, we could have a price controller having a direct passes on the price of goods and services in our country. We have many times inflation that is pronounced, and those who set prices in the retail shops, in the point of purchase of goods and services, sometimes they can be doing their own thing out there. So we just thought this key sector in our economy needs to have a everyday hands-on control over, so that price is managed, that is measured comparable with inflation that is pronounced. And so Minister Lelang would have oversight in ICCC. I've also decided that the much talk about sovereign wealth fund that has not been progressed. Sovereign wealth fund is a concept to save for the country into the future instead of just consuming today. That has been an intention of our government since 2019 to set up sovereign wealth fund. By policy, we have already approved that 7% of all earnings from our resource projects will be transferred into a sovereign wealth fund facility that will be partnered with the central bank. And so Minister Lelang will be having full-time responsibility over the setup, structure, oversight, and management of our nation's sovereign wealth fund. And he will have the care and responsibility. That is for our national wealth sustainability going forward into the future. Instead of just consuming for today, we put on a structure that saves for tomorrow. In the context of savings, our country is also, we have the Savings and Loan Society. I've also parked the responsibility across to him. So he'll be looking at the micro level, how do we dispense savings to the growth of our economy and participation of the people who are savings to also tap into the SME space and others. The Savings and Loans Society, the Act of Parliament that governs that, will be also administered by Minister Lelang, and he will work through all this, as well as other functions that looks in supporting the growth of our economy, more so focus on unbundling the rural economies to be also participating in the contribution to growth of our country in as far as the economy is concerned. He brings to the table a lot of experience. Some of you may feel that it is not in the mainstream, far from it. These organs of state are there to assist in the upkeep of our economy. Sometimes in the load of work that one or two ministers carry, some of the essential functions get overlooked or does not have consistent watch over, and they just trundle along with no meaningful contribution to us. To name, as I did mention earlier, NEFC and ICCC stands out as two important economic tools that is there for our economy, but have been left to be unattended for so long. And sometimes once in a blue moon, we go and visit them and attend to them. I just thought having a minister every day on top of this will assist in policy and think tank advice to government, as well as keeping finger on the scourge of price, unregulated price growth that sometimes does take place in our economy, not just in Port Moresby, but especially in rural areas, and sometimes unmanned price can be more higher than what could have been the prices of goods and services. So, brother, I know you have a lot of experience. Life is not only about picking portfolios that has resource over. All the leaders who say ranks with me, I'll give you an example of Minister Marape. Today we came through out of a meeting before I came down here. He will be better known as Minister for National Census. We have met with our team. We are almost census ready. He's preparing the groundwork by August 31st this year. If all goes well, you would have been counted. Every human being in Papua New Guinea would have been counted. And so we decided instead of having national statistics and few of our constitutional offices all over the place, we just have one minister with his finger on top of these key jobs so that we get it out of the way. And Minister for Administrative Services, Minister Marape, has came in and has now lifted up something that has not been done since 2011. We have not effectively done a fully fledged census since 2011. The last time a well-to-do qualified census was done was in the year 2000. So Minister Marape and his team would call up a conference very soon to announce that it's going to be labeled Count, Be Counted. That's the label of Census 2024, Be Counted. Everyone in PNG must be counted. So it's an example of different ministries, different ministers having a hand on practically everything in our country so that work gets done instead of sometimes public service quite slow in getting work done in our country. So thank you, leaders, for coming by. I will allow the minister get used to the designation and the call as Minister of State. Congratulations, it's been a long time coming. You moved from the highest rank in the opposition as a direct vote of confidence on the government. You crossed over, and so in the context, you wanted to contribute to cabinet. We offer you the moment to address your country in your new designation as Minister of State.
Questions?
Please.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And I want to acknowledge this important appointment that we are witnessing today. I want to thank the Prime Minister for his confidence in appointing me as a Minister of State to assist with other fellow colleague ministers in Cabinet to help guide the way we serve our people and our nation. I want to thank the Prime Minister also for this important portfolio. And I want to say a few things on that. But firstly, I just want to acknowledge the leaders in Cabinet, the leadership, Bango Party, who have embraced me as a loner walking across. And I appreciate, Prime Minister, the gesture that you have brought me into the big family and into Cabinet eventually. And I must thank you because I have always been in the opposition and I have never held a ministry before. And I'm almost retiring from minister, just serving in the opposition, 15 years, you know, that's not a short time. It's a long time. So I just want to thank you, Prime Minister, for the recognition to me, to my family, and to the people of Kandrian-Gloucester in Western Britain.
Yes.
I want to say this, that this is this ministry that I will be overseeing is an important one, especially when you look at the current issues and problems that the country has gone through since the government took office in 2019. You have the earthquake that rocked the major provinces, 5 provinces in the highlands, which affected the gas and oil production and output. And that led to a recession. And then on top of that, we have the COVID-19 that came through, and most recently, the rioting and looting that have caused a lot of assets loss, people's lives and all that. Any leader, if you claim to be one, and in the opposition, where I sat down, I saw that this was a very difficult time for this country. And it wasn't difficult for me to make a decision that whilst we are trying to talk about vote of no confidence and things like that, we need to address the issues that is confronting the nation and our people.
Yes.
We should not put our political interest in front of our people's interest. And so I have made the decision that I need to step out, give confidence to the government. This is our country, and we must work together. If this MPPNG sinks, as the Prime Minister used to say, it's not only the government will go down, but those on the opposition too will go down. So it is in our best interest that where we can contribute, let's put our heads together and do something for our country. And I am thankful, Prime Minister, for this very, very important ministry and the agencies that will come under this ministry. As you all know, we are at the threshold of a time when we will expect a lot of revenue to come in. And I think our Prime Minister has gone to Pogera and where he officiated at the smelting of the gold. I think it's worth first gold bullion, which is about 15 million kina. And so this is the beginning. There are major resource projects all over the country, both in the oil, gas fields, and also, of course, mineral sector that will be coming on stream. Now, there's going to be a lot of money flowing into the country. we need, and I thank the Prime Minister for his foresight and wisdom in creating this ministry. And I will work together with the colleagues in cabinet and the leadership to look at how can we ensure that that revenue that will be coming is spread equitably throughout the entire nation, so that we improve the welfare and the lives of our people. This is what government is all about. This is what the Ministry for Rural and Economic Development is about. It's about improving our people's welfare. And so I am very happy, Prime Minister. I have discussed with you and took note of the key issues that we need to push forward and advance in this country for the benefit of our people. And we need to look at the systems, both horizontal and vertical. We need to build a system structures. We need to patch up the leakages. We need to address the cost of service delivery. We need to make sure that if there is a need for us to look at, and as Prime Minister has already pointed out, an equalization formula, some kind of quota that may alleviate the burden of certain remote, rural, isolated districts from getting a service. This must be all factored in. We need to look at that through the agencies that are available. We need to look at the total funding that this government under Prime Minister, the Marape government, under SIP, 20 million per district, under SIP alone, per province, including the autonomous region of Bougainville. It's a total of 11.9 billion kina. That is this government under the leadership of Prime Minister Marape is allocated. And that started in 2003 and it's going to end in 2007. And that's about 11.9 billion kina. 2.2 billion for provinces and Bougainville, and 7.8 billion for the 96 districts. That is a lot of money. Now the importance of this ministry is that if that kind of funds is going down, we need to look at systems and structures that must address the issue of accountability, about project monitoring, so that the programs and the funding must generate impact on the ground. This is very important because if we have the 96 districts fully functional with positive growth and transformation, and the 22 provinces, including the autonomous region of Bougainville, Papua New Guinea will have positive impact and transformation. And this is my task. I will look at that. Not only the issue of how the funds will be flowing through and addressing all those structural impediments and everything, cleaning up the system and all that, but we have to look into the future also, about the issue of sovereign wealth fund. When I was a department holder, I did work on the issue of sovereign wealth fund, trying to have discussions with the Australian government, Department of Finance and others. So it's something that I'd like to revisit again, have a look, and take into account what the Prime Minister's direction is, the government's direction, and how we need to move this forward, and I will certainly move it forward as Minister responsible. I want to thank you, Prime Minister, for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you and the rest of the team in putting our hands together, supporting your vision for our country and where we want to bring it to the next level. So thank you, Prime Minister.
Well done. As you all see, a lot of experience in that space there, so it's an appointment that is worth it. I want to say thank you very much to the people from Kandrian-Gloucester and Western Britain. You've been a faithful support. Part of the work you will do is to make sure that going forward into the future, everyone gets a fair share from the harvest of our country's economy. So in that context, we've brought him with those experience into the team. Governor, you want to say something on behalf of your province? You are a strong leader of the province, strong part of our Congress party team. So please speak to the country, speak to your people.
Thank you, PM. I acknowledge the presence of PM and Mrs. Marape. I acknowledge the new Minister Swani, Honorable Lelang, member for Kandrian-Gloucester, and his good lady, and all the senior ministers who are present here to witness. Prime Minister, on the outset, on behalf of our people from Western Britain, let me express our sincere gratitude and thank you for acknowledging one of our own son and member for Kandrian-Gloucester. As you have rightly said, the member comes with a lot of experience and knowledge in terms of in his field of expertise, mainly in economy. So this is a timely appointment, and we sincerely thank you for taking him into the cabinet rank and giving acknowledgement to our people of Kandrian-Gloucester, who has been not abundant, but has been in one of the most remotest part of our country, and finally for our Kandrian-Gloucester district to get that recognition in our government is a big thing for our people, and I sincerely pray and hope that our member and the minister will be adding more value to our cabinet and supporting all our existing ministers and their work. So once again, on behalf of our people, I sincerely thank Prime Minister for his wisdom to appoint our member for Kandrian-Gloucester and the Minister sworn in for Ministry of Rural and Economic Development. And also I thank Governor-General. This is his first assignment immediately after his recovery, and I thank God for his recovery and resumption of his duty as Governor-General. Thank you.
All right, leader of the New Guinea Islands, Pangu. How many of you? 12 now.
12 members, Prime Minister. Well, thank you. On behalf of the New Guinea Islands Pangu Party team, of which there are now 12 of us in that group, may I, on behalf of our entire membership, welcome the new Minister for Rural and Economic Development. Prime Minister, as he mentioned here, we're on standby to continue to support the policies of our government to ensure that we achieve those visions in this term of Parliament. As you've often said, it's not just a matter of holding office, it's also holding office to ensure that we implement the policy platforms for which we were clearly mandated in the 2022 elections. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Minister. Look forward to working with you.
All right, good luck. Minister Sungi, missing most from the rest of the greater Pangu. You like Toko? Leader from Pangu Mamasa. They have another 12 there.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Well, Minister Lelang is actually a colleague to me when I was a provincial administrator, and used to come and beg him for recognition with his minister to support the provinces. So thank you, Prime Minister, for recognizing the potential, and also on behalf of Pangu brothers and sisters, the family that we have a total of 59. We are also privileged and also thankful that the appointment of Minister Lelang brings in the quality and the confidence and the comfort that we find as the greater Pangu in both as Pangu Caucus and also in the cabinet to support the Prime Minister and the country going forward. So on behalf of the Pangu members and our Pangu supporters, we'd like to thank the people of Kandrian-Gloucester and the West Britain people, and also the New Guinea Islands region for giving support to us on behalf of Mamase Islands and Southern. I speak on behalf of all of our team. We welcome Minister Lelang on board, and also in the family of Pangu Party board in the caucus, and also in the network that we have throughout the country. Thank you, and may God be with us in everything that we endeavor to do for the good of our people in this country.
All right, very good. Any one or two questions? We'll keep it short.
Prime Minister, one for me. There's always criticism taught from the public as well. Can you just explain the concerns that the Treasury has with reform, given the recent distribution of ministries or functions to ministries so far? And how many more ministries are you going to
We have there are two vacancies. Two vacancies still remain, but the workload, as I mentioned earlier in my speech, workload in all sectors right across the country has loaded. If you were asking this question 10 years ago, education sector had only one ministry. If you asked this question 10 years ago when he started off with planning, treasury and finance, all had one ministry. And so the split of ministries reflect the growth in workload as our economy grew, our population grew, and the dynamics of our country, our economy, and our public service structure has also changed over those times. So work in mainstream core treasury remains. Macroeconomy, focus on budget, focus on revenue, focus on expenditures, all this remains as a core treasury function. But Minister Lelang's task now is really to come in to look into key aspects of our economy that needs to be supported. So, and as I clearly pick 2 or 3 key organic part of our government structure for him to have everyday hands-on, as he also looks into that to prop up the economy, strengthen the economy, support the economy, and he assists us in the central. So Mr. Lelang is placed right deep into the central government, not in other departments that is service orientated. He's more in the construct of the economy and assists myself and Treasury, the Treasury team to get things moving. Minister Astake remains as Minister assisting me in the mainstream Treasury. I am looking into the Treasury functions in totality as to how they relate to finance, to planning, to all other parts of our service dispensations, to ensure that a Treasury that is passed back is a Treasury that is assisting, serving us with no impediments. As you would have heard, Minister Lelang did indicate to impediments in the system itself. We can't afford to have blockages in our system. The system must be well oiled. Part of the reason why we had the January 10th incident was clogging in the system. Some parts were supposed to be at work, and it may take me 1 or 2 months to really tidy up what happens at Treasury, Planning, Finance, Prime Minister's Department, and National Parliament. There's a lot of clock where it's just like the heartbeat. Heart is functional when the arteries is moving in and out. Once you have a artery that is blocked, then you get a heart attack. Treasury, finance, planning is the heartbeat of the government. Just like the PS department is the head of the government, so to speak. So I'm not a doctor, but we're doing some insertion in those places to ensure that we don't have so much blockage, but the function is better served and assists all of us in a bigger economy today than what it was before. The 3 of you are colluding. What's happening there? You know, it's supposed to be different media outlets. Now we know what's happening in the media place, I think.
What's the creation of this ministry? How many, like the total number of ministries now in the
36 now, two more to go. And we know I still, as a Prime Minister, when there is no more ministry at work, then every job falls back to me. So I still care for education portfolio today. There's oversight education portfolio at the moment. And energy has been passed in the meantime to Petroleum Minister to ensure that he administers the energy issues we have. And so we still have 2 more slots. And as you see, this is a new appointment, but some 15 years ago, we used to have Moses Maladina, then Deputy Prime Minister, as Minister for Rural Development. If some of you are long enough, and deep memory, you would realize that there used to be a Minister for Rural Development. There used to be a Minister for Administrative Services. You came to ask me when it was? 1993. So you still know politics in this country, you would know about this sort of thing. You know, we're not reinventing the wheel. And he doesn't pick up and create a new department. Those agencies are already there. We just overlay with a new ministry. He gets there and he picks up those agencies who are already there and run with it and deliver on the outcomes that he's expecting to deliver. All right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll finish also.